The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Jesse with Habit-Based Lifestyle. And today I'm going to come at you with what I call a lifestyle planner, but I'm going to teach you the framework of how you are going to get this set up on a day-to-day basis, so that, or at least yearly basis, so that you can begin to kind of map out your 2021 with this exact framework that I use. And I've been using this for probably 5-6 years. Obviously, over those years, I've changed some things in that, mapped it out in that sense. But if you have a question or you're watching on the replay, I want to make sure that you, number one, you see anything that I'm doing, the questions you may have, just ask them in the comments, or you can even send me a DM and you can let me know if you have anything you want to add to this. But really what this is about creating your lifestyle. And many of the clients, all of the clients that come inside of Habit-Based Lifestyle, our accelerator program is really about creating their ideal lifestyle first. And then we actually have the business plan, business model that they've kind of plug into their lifestyle. And so for a lot of people, including myself, one of the experiences I had was where I actually kind of put my business ahead of everything else as I was building it. And one of the things that happened was I got out of alignment between my business and between my life. And it got very hard to kind of manage them when I put my business ahead of everything else. And so the biggest mistake that you could make as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is to, build your business and begin building that and kind of put that ahead of everything else, even though, in our mind, it makes logical sense. Like, of course, I'm going to build my business and that's where I'm going to put a lot of my focus. But if you do that at the same time as, burning other areas of your life down, well, all I've done is just created, more issues in my life instead of adding more value and being able to manage them. And so I think the biggest struggle we have today is managing our life and managing our business in a healthy and productive way. You hear this thing balance all the time. Where I really believe a lot of the stress we have on a day-to-day basis comes into play is when we're not managing our business and life in a, I don't even want to say balanced way, I'll say intentional way. And so they get out of alignment, and that's where the majority of our stress comes from. That stress over a period of time really begins to affect and impact our life, our lifestyle, and many other things. And then it starts creating disease and all these other things. Like, imagine, stress over, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, chronic stress begins to turn into disease, whether it be disease in a relationship, disease in your health, disease in your mindset, whatever that is. It begins to creep into your lifestyle and impact it and infect it in a major way. And over 15, 20 years, it could develop into cancer, it could develop into anything. And so why I'm so passionate about this lifestyle planner, this lifestyle business, is because I want to see, business owners be successful at having the ideal lifestyle they want, just as much as I want to see them be successful at their business. And what I understand is, like, no matter how successful you are in business, if your lifestyle is out of whack, if your lifestyle is affected, then ultimately your business is not going, you're not going to be fulfilled in your business. And so that's where I really want to step in and help business owners, entrepreneurs get in alignment with their lifestyle, get in alignment with their business so that they can begin to live the lifestyle that they've always dreamed of, they've always wanted. And really, the way we do this is to actually get clear on what it is that you actually want. And so, from this place, I think today, since we have a half hour, I want to work on just setting goals for the next year and getting you to think a year from now, where do I want to be if I was to look back today? Where would I want to be a year from now? And then we're going to look at in the coming weeks, breaking it down into 90 days. And then some of the other things that I use inside of habit based lifestyle is really breaking it down into day by day habits that will help me get there. Everything that we do inside of habit based lifestyle is about simplifying your life, decreasing stress, and being intentional about what it is day to day that we actually want. And are we living in alignment with the intention that says, hey, this is what I want, this is where I'm going. And alignment just means that I'm living in that place and I'm moving in that direction. And so today, if you're watching this live right now, I want you to put hashtag live. So I know you're on there. If you have any questions as you're watching this today live, please let me know so that I can answer those as we get going on this. So let me share my screen. So first thing that we always have to do whenever we're doing anything in business or in life, all right. So first thing that we always do in business or lifestyle is, I think the easiest place to always start is what type of framework are we going to work through? And so we have, imagine this frame, and we have what's called a lifestyle. What what is the lifestyle that I actually want to live? Or if I was to look back a year from now, what would I want my lifestyle to look like? And so we're going to give you a framework of how this actually looks. So number one, we're going to go through this. We have 5 areas of health. So we have physical health, mental health, relational, spiritual, and financial. Now, you may say, like, okay, well, what's the difference between mental health, spiritual health? Mental health, I think about more kind of like mindset, spiritual health, which is more, mental, exercise. Spiritual health, I think of more in the body, like more heart based, God, things like that. And so as you're kind of going through this, like, hey, if you're like, what's the difference of the two? Feel free to ask, what that looks like. But as we go through this, like, these are the areas that we're going to work on. Now, this lifestyle planner is all about maximizing our health and really looking at these 5 areas of health and managing them on a year-to-year basis, month-to-month basis, quarter-to-quarter basis, and week-to-week basis to day-to-day basis. So there's going to be eventually things that I'm going to do in each area that are ultimately going to help me get to where I actually want to be. So the first thing we need to do is, obviously what we've done is set a framework and said, okay, listen, here's the 5 areas of health. Let's just take physical health. What do I want my, physical health to look like? If I was sitting here, today is December, I think it's December 16th, 2020. If I was sitting here having a conversation literally a year from now with you, where we're looking back, what would you have wanted to change inside of your physical health? You could put any one of these: mental health, relational health, spiritual health, whatever that is, financial health. What would you want to have achieved, or what would you have want to see happen in that period of time? And so that's really where all of this starts, is really like creating a vision for the future. And so when we do this, we have to have vision, because if we don't have a vision for where we're going, then what happens is we're going to, kind of create something that is not going to happen. It's kind of like a feeling based goal versus a vision based goal. And when I have a feeling based goal, what happens a lot of times is very easy to get thrown off the track. So I have to create a vision. And that's where we always start with the vision of where you want to go literally a year from now. And so this is your lifestyle vision of what do I want life to look like 1 year from now. And so as you're doing this, it's like, what do I want my physical health, insert any area of health, to look like 1 year from today? Now, to understand that a little more, it's like, man, I want to be, this body fat. I want to be that. But like, think of this as like, what do I want my body to be able to do or look like? What do I want my health to be able to do or look like? What do I want my cardio? What do I want my fitness to look like? So this isn't just about body fat. This isn't just about weight loss. This is about an overall health, an overall level of fitness, cardio, that you want to achieve and you want to look like. Because if we're just going off body fat and just going off body composition change, like chances are, that's not really a vision that's like, hey, there's an absolute of like, I really want to do this thing. And so that's what takes us into the next place. So the next thing is like, okay, well, now that we've kind of gotten clear on what we want in this area, I want to get into why it matters. Now, most people are like, well, I want to lose body fat because I want to feel better. I want to lose weight because I want to feel better. I want to lose this. But like, I want you to go 5 levels deep on this. Okay. So that means that, like, hey, uh, why do you want to? So say like, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds and be this percent of body fat. Like, why do you want to lose 20 pounds and be this percent of body fat? Because I want to be healthy. Why do you want to be healthy? Well, because, I want to look and feel better. Well, why do you want to look and feel better? Well, because I don't feel very attractive. Okay. Well, why do you want to be attractive? Because maybe, you want to get married. Maybe, if you're single, you want to get married. Maybe if you're married, you like want to be attractive to your spouse, whatever that is, or like you want to be able to play with your kids. So as we ask this, we're going to repeat the goal we want 5 times. And what we want to do on this is make sure that we are asking this 5 levels deep, because typically by the 5th time, now we're getting clear on why exactly you wanted to lose weight, the real reason why it actually matters, and how or what you're going to do about it is the big thing that we're going to look at. And so as you're kind of going through this, it's important that you understand, people always say, man, it's all about the why. And, why is very important. But what's more to understand is like, what is the real reason why underneath all the reasons externally. And so, this is a journey from an external why to the internal why. And that's really where we want to get to, because if it's all external, chances are you're going to hit that goal. You're going to feel fulfilled for about 5 minutes, and then you're going to be like, okay, what's next? So the internal why is the one that really matters the most. And then we're going to talk about the next thing is going to be when. So if we go back up here, we have when. So when are you going to pull this off? Now, obviously, we have 12 months, but we have markers, which we're going to talk about next week, how to set up kind of your 90 days and then how to set up smaller chunks. So this is really a marker of like, hey, by this date and time, I will be this weight, health, body fat, whatever your goal is. By this date and this time, I will be this body fat, this goal, whatever you want to call it. And so time, it could be earlier, it could be later, whatever that is. But we got a year that we're going to be working on this. Now, this is about you creating a vision. So you have to have kind of a story around this. Is like, hey, I want my health to be like this. I want my body to be like this. I want my cardio to look like this, my fitness to look like this. And so now I have a little bit of a story. It matters because, ultimately I want to be attractive for my spouse. I also want to have confidence inside of me that when I go out into the marketplace, people are looking at me like this guy or this person is fit, they're healthy, and they represent what they're actually doing. And I want to be able to do this by this date and time. So now you've created kind of a vision story of where you're going to be. And the final piece is how. Now, how are you going to pull this off? Okay. So the biggest thing with this are what are the things that you're going to need to learn? And this is where coaches come into play. This is where, experts come into play. And so, what are things that you need to learn about in your body, in your health, in your cardio, in your fitness to be able to really accomplish what you say you want? And so, whenever you look at this, it's like, hey, what are the things that I need to learn? Maybe I need to study about, I'm just going to say this. I don't believe it, but like keto diet. Maybe I need to study recovery because I've had a hard time recovering from workouts. Maybe I need to hire a trainer to help hold me accountable to get me where I need to be. Maybe I need to pick up a sport. So, whatever that is, these are things that I can learn on one side, learn about these. Are they right for me? What's not right for me? What are things that I need to leverage? So I could leverage my network of people. I could leverage um, influence. I can leverage time to be able to do things. So really, when I sit down and begin to map this out, I really want the how I'm going to do this is number one, what are things I need to learn? What are things that I need to leverage, which is always hiring people. Leverages time and accelerates results. So remember, this is like when I hire someone, I'm accountable. I can leverage time. I can leverage results, which ultimately is going to get me to where I want to go much faster. It's going to get me to where I want to go at a different rate and different speed so that I can really maximize my efficiency, my time in doing this. Now, for this, I may need to hire a doctor to do blood work. I may need to hire chiropractor, someone to do maybe massage. I may need to hire a trainer, a nutrition person. And then I may need to sign up for a challenge or competition. One of my favorite things to do is actually do challenges where I actually have to pay to do something. Some of the biggest things I've done is, Kokoro, World's Toughest Mudder, things like that, where I've done like this major challenge that I've signed up for and committed to. But whatever you're going to leverage, you're going to have to commit to something financially. Typically, when we commit financially, we're much more likely to do that, and that's where we really want to make sure that we're taking this to the next level. We're getting in alignment with this because ultimately, this is our ultimate framework. Okay, lifestyle vision. I'm going to go back through this one more time. So, number one, you got 5 areas of health: physical health, mental health, relational health, spiritual health. The framework, creating that vision of like, hey, by December 16th, 2021, if I'm looking back at where I am today, this is what I want my life to look like, or this is what I want my body to look like, my mental health, relational health, spiritual health. 1 year from today. So looking back, these are the things that I wanted to accomplish. What do I want my body to do or look like, my health to do or look like, my cardio to do or look like, my fitness to do or look like? You really got to understand where you are today, the work that's going to go into it, why it matters. So like not the external why, but the internal why of getting clear on, what is the real internal driver in this, because that's ultimately the why that's going to matter. And you got to go deep on this and you got to repeat it 5 times to get to the internal why. The other thing is this: 12 months. This is your marker. By this date and by this time, I will be this in my body, in my health, in my cardio, in my fitness, or I will have completed this challenge. And then how are you going to pull this off? So the how is always about learning. It's always about leveraging. Learn, what do I need to learn? What do I need to leverage to be able to do this so that I can ensure that I hit my goals and I fulfill the vision that I have ultimately in my life, that I've created in my physical health. And you guys would just run through each area. So we would finish. We have our physical health mapped out. The next thing we would do is go through this entire process again in your mental health, relational health, spiritual health, and financial health. And then we would continue on, which where we're going to come back to next week. We're going to be mapping out kind of like your 90-day outcomes. So the important thing to remember is once we have that year vision, we begin to chunk things down into smaller chunks so that we can simplify the process of what we're doing. We can make it manageable, because what we overestimate is what we can get done in a week, but we underestimate what we can do in 90 days to a year. And so I really want to simplify this for you so that you can see exactly how this looks, how this plays out. So if you guys are watching this right now, please, type in, yeah, this is Killer Insight, maximize efficiency. Of course, that's what we do inside of this. And I really believe that mapping this out gives you the ability to do that so that you can begin to simplify this thing. So remember, this is like, you're never going to accomplish something. And the reason I see a lot of people not accomplish what they set out to isn't because they're not committed or they don't want to. It's because they haven't made it simple enough to understand, to take that initial first step. And once they take that initial first step, everything becomes much easier, because it's just about taking the next step. Because if it's a big leap to start out, it's too big of a step and it's too confusing. It's easy to get paralyzed by fear and frustrated. And so we never actually take that. So As you guys are watching this, let me know if you have questions, comment, hashtag replay. Also, just anything that you want to learn more about. Next week, we're going to go through the 90-day portion of this. And then the week after, we're going to begin breaking it down into simpler habits and things like that that are going to get us there. So, guys, look for the replay coming soon, and we'll talk to you later.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse